Hey YouTube, give a minute. I am live. Give a minute for everybody to get in here, because I'm going to tell you something that may or may not help you. So, looks like no one's coming in here. So, oh, there's a couple people here. So if you go on YouTube and Periscope and Facebook Live, you're going to find a lot of drivers that are taking a lot of time off, or they're spending lots of money. Or things of that nature. And about 2 years ago, I did a video when I was at Landstar about the Christmas rush. Hey Clyde, what's up? Jason, how's it going? And in the spot market on Facebook, you know, and all the Landstar pages, everybody's like, oh, I can't wait for the Christmas rush. The rates should be better. And, you know, this is when rates had hit a rock bottom. And I had to inform people that there was no Christmas rush coming. Hey, John. And no one believed me. And so come late October, early November, when everybody was expecting this influx of freight, guess what? It wasn't happening. And so what I did is I dug my heels down to a lot of hazmat stuff, and that's how I survived through that winter. But I think I ended up leaving. I think that was the same winter I left Landstar. Depending on your company, now if you haul reefer, it's going to be a little bit different. But when you're hauling dry van, think about Walmart, for example. Walmart right now, well, Walmart around the 4th of July, what did they have set up in the store? They had back to school supplies. Think about their holidays. So when back to school happens, like September 1st, what do they put out? Halloween stuff. And right before Halloween, what do they put out? They put out Christmas. And then before Christmas is done, what do they put out? They put out Valentine's Day. You know, they're always looking forward. So think about the Halloween decorations you're going to, decorations you're going to see this year. They are already in the stores. They're sitting on pallets, on big shelves in the back. You know, I used to work for a contractor that would go to Walmart. I was a vendor. I worked for a company called Huffy Service First, and we would go and build their bikes, lawnmowers. We put them together. We'd put the grills together, all that kind of stuff. So I got to see the back workings of a Walmart store, quite a bit. Actually, all of them. We would go to Walmart, Target, Kmart, Pale Rider, Merry Christmas. Lowe's, Home Depot, all of them. And these stores, right now, as we speak, they are purchasing and ordering and shipping the stuff for Black Friday, for Christmas. I know this because a friend of mine was at a shipper, and he picked up a bunch of those turkey roaster things. And so right now that stuff's going to the that stuff's going to the distribution centers. Because if you think about stores like Walmart, Kmart, Target, Family Dollar, that kind of stuff, the stuff has to be shipped to the distribution centers, and then they have to distribute it and then put it on their own trucks and then ship it. So that stuff is happening right now. And yes, it's only the end of July, but the Christmas rush is now, if you're driving. As you approach the holidays a little bit quicker, the consumable goods like soda, beverages, chips, beer, that kind of stuff, that will increase as we get a little bit closer to the holidays because they're food, Now on the reefer side, this is the peak of the produce season, and then you're going to be doing a lot of meat to prepare for the holidays, like frozen meat, that kind of thing. That stuff, again, is being shipped between now and probably the end of August. And come January 1st, all your big freight is going to go away, and you're going to see a little bit of a downturn in December. Now, the spot market will still do some decent stuff in December, especially if you get on with UPS, Amazon, that kind of stuff. That stuff is going to be booming until January 1st. But between Thanksgiving and Christmas, if there's that depends what the consumer confidence, what the consumers are doing. Then you might find a few last minute loads, but not much. So my lesson, I guess I'm trying to say, or not my lesson, but my message, is that time to make hay is now. My first year at Landstar, I started in June, and I was doing pretty good. Making more money than I've ever made before, or so I thought. And I took the week before Christmas off. I think I took the week between Christmas and New Year's off. And then January 2nd or 3rd hit, and reality hit. There was absolutely nothing on that load board. I'd book a load, it'd get canceled. I'd book a load, the times would be moved up. I just could not make it work. My normal agents didn't have freight. The relationships I had built, they didn't have their freight. Everybody was doing inventory or recouping from, trying to evaluate what they had sold and what they didn't sell. You might get lucky and find a load of returns. But I knew that there was a downturn in January, but not to the extent that it happened. So you take rates that were getting lower, and that was the year, that was the beginning of the really bad rate drop in the spot market area. And I did not realize how bad the feast or famine thing would be. And it was a reality check. I didn't start making good money again till mid-February. And even then it was kind of like, and that's when the rates really started to drop. They never really came up until, recently. So all you guys that are sitting there spending your money, sitting at home because you did 2 good paying loads, this is from experience. This is not me telling you what you should or should not do. This is my experience of what I dealt with. January 1st is going to come, and it's going to be a reality check for all of you. You could be a company guy. You're going to see a downturn in your miles. You're going to see a downturn in freight, and you're going to see a downturn in rates. Now, one of the advantages of Landstar is that there's a lot of guys with paid off trucks there that will take off between December 1st and February, 30th or 28th or whatever it is, if it's a leap year, 29th. I know, I'm an idiot. The end of February, let's call it that. So you have agents that will put loads on the board that normally aren't on the board because their normal drivers are taking this time off. So you might get a good show load. You might get a good, it's funny. You'd sit there and you're like, oh, wow, this is a great load. Pays great. It was awesome, and the agent's like, well, I got 2 of these a week, feel free to call me anytime, but, and you do the load on time, you do it safely, there's no hiccups, it goes smoothly, and next thing you know, you can never find the load. You call that agent up. Oh, yeah, it's covered. So Jeffrey's doing a live video right over me. No wonder I can't get anybody in here. So everybody go to Jeffrey's channel and then tell him, hey, you're stepping on Snorelord. So I'm not going to make this a long video, but you find this, this agent will sit there, oh, I got 2 of these a week, this, that, and the other, and then next thing you know, you can never get to it. Oh, I don't have them this week. And then pretty soon they stop taking your calls. That's because their regular drivers has already come back. So, then next thing you know, you're like, oh, wow, remember that time I had that $3 a mile load that, it was super easy and went to the, the Cowboy Stadium or something like that. That chick told me that there was 2 of those a week, and, or something like that, and it dries up. Yeah, February is always difficult. Big Rich says, I'm sick with you, Snore Jesus. What's up, Stretch Nuts? So, now if you drive for Walmart, or if you're on a dedicated Family Dollar or Dollar General or, Dollar Tree, if you're on one of those accounts, you're going to do good, if you're doing Amazon, you're going to do well. But even then, February is a dark month. And if you remember, a couple of prominent YouTubers had trouble last winter that are working the spot market freight. Won't say their names, but it's something that I've noticed. I've got a few people in my Periscope group that they're kind of doing the same thing, and they haven't experienced a winter at Landstar yet. So that's my message for you guys today, is the time to make hay is now. You got maximum amount of daylight. You got the ELD mandate that's probably going to happen come December. So come January, you're going to have a lot of discontent drivers. And it's going to get ugly out here. Everybody's going to be in a bad mood. Everybody's going to be cutthroat. I'm about to lose my here, computers are down, can't load until computers are up. I've dealt with that before, Stretch Nuts. There was a big power outage in Dallas one time, and they couldn't load the trucks because they couldn't run the computers. Maybe worth considering signing a packet with Amazon for those difficult months, or maybe Uber Freight will be booming during those months. Yeah, Big Rich, that's possible. I know that Amazon will sign small carriers that have 4 or 5 trucks. I think there's a minimum. and I think those guys do pretty good. You're basically doing power only, pulling their trailers. But what's fixing to change that a little bit is the Walmart versus Amazon thing. I know that here at the Big Orange, we do both Walmart and Amazon. So I'd be curious if that threat is real to the mega carriers, because they sit there and go, well, Walmart goes, if you haul for Amazon, you can't haul for us. Well, obviously we do. So, I'd be curious to see how that happens. So, and if you're Schneider IC and you haven't experienced a winter yet, here's what to expect here. Freight doesn't really drop down a whole lot. It does a little bit, but what you'll find is like longer load times, wider open window appointments. The trailer pool gets weird. You might be in an area like Kansas City where we've got a ton of trailers, and they'll want you to go to like Joplin to go get a trailer, that kind of thing. The trailer pool gets all switched around and everything. And then what happens here is a lot of these big box stores, I won't say the name who, but a lot of those loads get picked up but then stored at the Schneider yards. So our yards get kind of filled up until the stuff kind of trickles out, and they get stored at our yard, and then closer to Christmas then they take them out of the yard. So there's a lot of relays that pop up, which is good. I love doing relays. I'm doing a relay today. I'm delivering in Sanger, and then I pick up a load at our yard there in Dallas, and I check the Crossroads app, and it's there. It's already there. It's been delivered to the yard, so I'm good to go. So as long as the trailer's in good shape, which hopefully if it isn't, the guy turned it in. But I was able to track that trailer last night and saw that he was going to be there. So anytime I'm ready to go, I'll be working. So I'm kind of letting rush hour in Dallas kind of die down, because I got to go straight down 35E. And if you watch any of my videos, you know how much I love that road. So, but here at the Big Orange, one of the things when Jeffrey Like was convincing me how much I can make at Schneider over Landstar is that was one of the selling points, is he showed me his numbers on his computer. The first quarter numbers, and they were no different than the other 3 quarters. And that is the main reason why I'm here, is consistency. So right now the rates are not that great, depending on what area you're in. But I've got consistency, and I'm still not having to do 3,000 miles a week to make ends meet. So that's good. But anyways, I thought I'd do this message. I know there's a couple more comments. Tim H, good info, Steve, thanks. Big Rich, a lot of brick and mortar stores are faltering with the rise of companies like Amazon and eBay, kinda. I see desperation in Walmart's threat. That's just my perspective, though. I think what Walmart wants to do is become like Amazon, because if you go to walmart.com, okay, you can order a billion stuff. You can order things that don't appear in their stores. And the thing that Walmart wants to do from Amazon is they want to sit there and say, hey, we can order the same thing Amazon that you can at Amazon, and we can ship it to the store, and all you gotta do is pick it up. So they save on shipping, and they have an appeal there. Now, where Amazon beats Walmart is you can buy, like there's a particular book or a CD that you want to buy, you can buy a used one off of Amazon and not have to deal with the eBay stuff, So I think Walmart wants to be like Amazon, so, you know, that's how Walmart operates, though. They are a cutthroat operation. You know, the contractor I told you guys that I work for, what they would do is they would, like, give us, like, I would go in there and I would build bikes, okay? And they would hire a guy at like $8 an hour to come in and help you, you know. And essentially what we started doing was training them. Inadvertently, like, we didn't realize we were doing it. Next thing you know, once these people were in place, what did Walmart do? They cut that vendor. So I was out of a job. So what I used to get piece rate for and make really good money for, now they could pay some dude $8 an hour to do it. And so, but that's not just Walmart. They all do that. They all do that. Business, if you take business classes now, they talk about business manipulation. It's about numbers. It's about, you know, profit. Business without morality. You know, one of Gandhi's 7 sins. You're absolutely right. They're not going down without a fight, for sure. Right. And so they're trying to find their niche, and they're trying to take out their competitors. eBay is almost a non-event, because I used to work with eBay all the time. When I was a school bus driver, I supplemented my income by going to yard sales, buying stuff, and then selling stuff on eBay. And after the eBay fees and the PayPal fees, it just wasn't worth it. It was easier, you know, then Craigslist happened. And I found that I made more money on Craigslist than I did on eBay. So the thing about eBay is good for specialty stuff. If you got a Gibson Les Paul guitar, and you can prove its authenticity, then, you know, eBay is where you want to sell that. You know, shark business, yep. I was in college for an MBA. That's definitely what they teach. Profits over decency. Yes. See? And, you know, and it's sad because, you know, my friend from, I got a fly in here. It's going to die. My friend from New Zealand said that 20 years ago, America was #1 on sales. If you went to buy a car or a truck or a house or a TV set, you know, any of those things, you got treated like royalty. You know, they bent over backwards, you know, versus all other countries. This guy's a world traveler, right? And just recently he went shopping for a truck, and guess what? He had trouble finding people that actually, you know, gave a darn about him. You know, it's like, you know, if you're going to fork over hundreds of thousands of dollars for this equipment, you think you'd get at least a steak dinner or something like that. You know what I mean? Fly swatter. Must have one in the truck, especially if you sit there with your windows open. So, the business, you know, here's the thing. I worked for a restaurant for years called the Repair Shop Saloon there in Springfield, Missouri. And my sister was the night manager there. I was friends with the day manager there. And the appeal of this place, it was a mom and pop place. They had Walleye Wednesday. They were the only place in Springfield that sold walleye. And back in when Springfield didn't have a whole lot of businesses open on Sunday, it was the only place that you could drink, you know, alcohol on a Sunday. You know, it was just, you know, they had their little niche, you know. And the owner married this woman, you know, after his first divorce, and she liked money. So as time went on, you know, I became a cook there, and I was on my way to being a manager in the kitchen, like, you know, planning meals, planning menus, you know, that kind of thing. And My sister encouraged me and supported me. It was a cool deal. It was a good deal I was getting going on. I liked working there because it was just a friendly atmosphere. It was an awesome place to work. And something changed. He bought the rest of the building that it was in, and they redid the kitchen, redid the dining room, and now he felt that he had to compete with Chili's, Applebee's, those kind of places. And he is the owner was best friends with the owner of Bass Pro Shop. And the owner of Bass Pro Shop, he is definitely a business manipulator. I worked for him for Tracker Marine. And he definitely knows how to manipulate. Like when I was a welder, what he would do is he would hire, you'd start off at say $9.75 an hour, and then within 2 years, or no, within the year, you're up to $13.50 or something like that. But then when they did layoffs, the first ones laid off were the higher rated ones during their year, and then the first ones called back were the ones that were at the lower spectrum. So, I'll turn this down because I know it's going to start barking at me. So this is the kind of stuff that this guy knew. So he started ticking off all the employees. And next thing you know, the whole kitchen, all the employees had changed. And he brought in his brother-in-law. And he basically took all the work that I had done, everything that we had developed, and just threw it out the window. Said, this is how things are. I'm in charge. Your opinion doesn't matter. And meanwhile, he didn't even live in Springfield, so he didn't know the appeal of the restaurant. He didn't know the appeal of the food. He didn't know that their niche, customers went in there because they didn't want to go to Applebee's. They didn't want Cheddar's. They didn't want Chili's. They didn't want those kind of restaurants. They went there for a specific thing, and they were going to ruin that.
A new message has arrived. A new message has arrived.
See, told you that thing would start barking. It's probably my trailer that I'm picking up at the yard. So, continuity went out the window. He decided that hiring 3 cooks at minimum wage was cheaper than hiring 1 cook at a really good wage. I also did contract cleaning for them. He threw that out the window. So my income was cut in half. Then my sister, she broke her leg, and he ended up firing her. And so he wouldn't have to pay the workman's comp. And pretty soon, every single manager that was doing well at that restaurant was either laid off or quit or fired. Okay. Now, interesting point. Years later, every single manager, with the exception of my sister, opened their own restaurants, and they're doing well. Okay. My sister, she works for university up there in Syracuse, making good money. The head honcho of their kitchen. So eventually things would fall apart. I ended up leaving, and things just downward spiral to the point that he was in so much debt. He didn't know why nobody wanted to be in their restaurant. These flies are driving me nuts, man. Let me open the windows. Maybe that'll help.
You have 2 unread messages.
I know.
Home. Messaging.
First truck idling next to me. So, guess what happened? He shot himself. He killed himself. The debt was so high and the stress was so high that he killed himself. That is one of many companies that I've worked for before I became a truck driver that have gone out of business. because they use the bad business practices to get what they want. Had he paid his employees well, treated them well, and knew his customers, none of that would have happened. You know, and now if you go to Springfield, the mom and pops are doing well because people are sick of the chain restaurants. You've seen it. If you're a truck driver, you go through this whole country, and every town has the same stuff. You have a Lowe's, you have a Walmart, you have a Home Depot, you have Applebee's, Chili's, you know, the same restaurants, the same stores, and that's how businesses run. Every town looks the same, you know. And it's like common sense doesn't exist in the business world anymore. So it's all about big numbers, and we're too big to fail. Meanwhile, you see big companies fail. When Knight took over Swift, it was because Swift was on the verge of failing. So Knight had to come in and like, hey, this is how you do things. We're going to straighten this crap out. You know, even though Swift is probably the bigger company. But hey, they're too big to fail, so they make all these mistakes. You know, they treat their drivers like crap. They hire bad drivers. They have bad business practices, and next thing you know, they're hurt. You know, and they're slicing their own throat. You know, and if Walmart was a smaller company and some of the things that they did, they wouldn't survive. You know, so. But anyways, that's it for this video. It's gone 31 minutes. I appreciate you guys coming in. I'm going to leave this video up. I deleted the last video. It was kind of by accident. But I talked about not leaving it up. And I thought, oh, maybe I'll leave it up. And then I hit the wrong button. So anyways, everybody, thanks for watching. And make sure you hit the thumbs up and you click the bell, and that way if I feel like I need to upload something, you'll know about it. I just uploaded a video about CPAP expenses. So those of you who are entering the CPAP world, it's just a little small informative video of how expensive the stuff is. And the prices that I pay is a lot better than what some other people pay. And that's my insurance prices, by the way. So everybody take it easy. Have a good day. Be safe. Be good to each other. And we'll see you on the road.